radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right, welcome, Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah. How you doing? All right, it's Thursday, April 11th, 2019. "101 days into the new year, just 264 days left." We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. The call-in number is 747-228-2051. Yep. All right. Couple of things before we get started. It's going to be great. I love hanging out with all of you on Thursday night. Just polishing up my Elvis glasses. I just saw him sitting here on the... These things are cool, man. These things are cool. All right. We activated the super chat. And I just happened to just jump over to make sure that it was running. There it is. Okay, so super chat is up. There you go, super chat. Yeah, let's talk Assange. All right. Yeah, looking at you guys here in that super chat's going to be I can tell that's already going to be distracting. Twitter's bad enough, right? Okay, so congratulations. I got enough email about it. I got everybody asking for I was just like, you know what? Okay, have at it. There you go. Okay, so yes, I'm watching all of you guys. You guys dig the shades? Okay, all right. I'm sure Twitter. These I got from a friend of mine, Matt, who went to. I've had him for years, 2 years. He went to Graceland. This is probably 15 years ago, and said, "Hey, man," and I think he sent me an email. But anyway, he said, "What do you want from the gift shop?" I said, "Dude, I want some Elvis glasses," and I've had them ever since. And he ended up sending me 2 pair. I got, or he gave me a second pair when he got here, and so I've got 2 pairs. So that's what those are. Okay, enough of that. Enough. So hello, everybody out there on YouTube and in the super chat. Hello to everybody on Twitter. And we've got 2 chat rooms, of course, one over on Spreaker and one at KGRA, the Planet. And lots to talk about. So follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. At JChurchRadio, hashtag F2B is the sandbox. And also, how is the audio? Because I redid the studio I retired a console. I've got a brand new Mackie Onyx here, 16 channel, and in my cans, and it's just unbelievable. And I'm looking at all of the balances and the levels all the way around, and the compressors. Everything is correct. Finally, I'm not fighting things and turning. It's perfect. So it sounds perfect to me, and I wanted to hear from you guys. How does the audio sound? Okay, all right, that's it. Just make a comment. It sounds great. That way I know, because you guys are my test, right? In here, it sounds great. I just want to know if everything is balanced and cool out there. But with that, moving on. All right, hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Hashtag F2BQ is Fade to Black questions. Yes, everything is live in front of me. I got a very strange tweet earlier on, and I got the feeling we're going to be talking about the Mandela effect tonight. But I got, this is from Cassandra, and she says here, okay, this Mandela effect stuff is just too weird. I heard a bio on the radio about Smokey Robinson. I remembered hearing that he died a few months back. Jimmy Church even read it as part of his news. I was like, what? He read it as his news of the day, and there were tweets to TMZ articles and such. So and then her second tweet is, I went back and looked up the date, and he's still alive. I know there were tweets about his death. I tweeted one myself back then. I did a Twitter search, nothing. I even searched hashtag F2B for tweets about his birthday, just in case I was misremembering. Again, nothing. My response back was, I don't remember doing that. That's the Mandela effect right there. That's pretty bizarre, Cassandra. And I want to continue with this. And if anybody remembers that episode, or do you remember the episode? Let us know. All right. Nathaniel said, this is what happens when you mess with CERN. All right. You can email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Okay. Crazy news day today. We're going to be talking about all of this. And I'm going to mention some of this here in just a bit. But, yes, we woke up to the news. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange was arrested at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Have you seen the video? Getting pulled out of there, kicking and screaming. Yep. That was pretty crazy. He looked a little ragged. He didn't look like the Julian that we know. He looks a little ragged. Well, he took refuge, in the embassy back in 2012. That's 7 years ago. And he did that to avoid extradition back to Sweden over a sexual assault case. But that was dropped. And at the Westminster Magistrates Court today, they just straight out found him guilty of failing to surrender to the court. And now he faces U.S. federal conspiracy charges related to one of the largest ever leaks of government secrets, which he's got to get extradited. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but that'll be in response to allegations by the Department of Justice that he conspired with former U.S. intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning to download classified databases. Now, he faces up to 5 years in a U.S. prison if convicted on the charges of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. Allegedly, he was helping her crack the password. Now, that's what the charges are. And this better not go into the journalism side of things. There's, I don't want that here in the United States. We've got enough issues right now with media and journalists and journalism and censorship and everything else that's going on. This is a crazy case. This is absolutely insane. This is like some of the biggest news. Oh, man. I don't know. There's so much that can come from this. So we'll see. We'll see how long he takes to get extradited. Or is this going to be some kind of expedited extradition? Will he not fight it? Will he just come here? I don't know. Also today, crazy news day. Federal grand jury right here in California indicted attorney Michael Avenatti on 36 counts, including embezzlement, wire fraud, tax evasion, bankruptcy fraud, and bank fraud connected to his alleged theft of tens of millions of dollars from 5 clients of his, one of them a paraplegic. And also, don't forget, in New York, he is accused of attempting to extort more than $20 million from Nike. And yesterday, they took his $4.5 million plane. Now, allegedly, that plane was bought, this is mentioned today, with the, it just mentioned the paraplegic. That was a $4 million case. He only gave that client like $150,000 or something. And there were some other things that were, but he took the $4 million and bought that plane. Bought that plane for $2.5 million. Now, that's what the court documents say. It still has to be proved. It's pretty amazing, though, when you stop and think about it. Somebody that was poking at the big dogs, including Trump, you go and you do that for as long as you do, and you just better be ready for when they come back after you. Yeah, it's pretty crazy situation here. Is it, is it payback? I don't know. But, man, they're coming down on him hard. Or was he just crooked from the word go? I don't know. We're going to find out. Now, on to all of the other big news today. Israel's Bereshit, the first privately funded mission to the moon, has crashed. I watched it live today. It was I didn't see it crash. Nobody did. But I watched their presentation live from the control room there in Israel. And it was exciting. It was exciting watching it. And then the telemetry went. It tried to perform a soft landing on the moon, and it would have made Israel the 4th country to do so. And seriously, by far the smallest, by the way. Only the United States, Soviet Union, and China have done it before. The spacecraft cost about $100 million private, built by Space IL and Israel Aerospace Industries. Lost communications with the control room in Israel during the landing sequence. And watching this play out, watching the telemetry drop, and then it came back, and then they mentioned something about the main engine, and I'm watching the descent, and the telemetry and the speed, and I was like, wow, that's got a long ways to go without the main engine. And then watching the confusion happen when it got down to, it was just like 100 meters, I think is when the 167 meters or something, everything went dead. And that was it. And they waited and waited and waited for a response. They didn't get it. And then it was just like minutes after that, Netanyahu got up and said, well, let's try to do this again. But they went straight to the crash news nearly immediately. Pretty sad to watch because it was exciting for a minute. And then later today, SpaceX. Wow. SpaceX launched its Falcon Heavy rocket, which we watched live here in the bunker, and the dramatic dual touchdown of the booster rockets. That, I still can't even believe what I watched. And I had it on, I had 3 different live feeds going, right? I had 2 live streams from individuals that were there at the site. And then, of course, I had the SpaceX live feed. And watching those things tumble out, that was crazy. That was nuts. And as promised, I'm going to talk about this more in just a minute, and I do want to talk about this tonight on the show. But that dual touchdown, that was nuts. Also today, Disney launched its Disney Plus streaming service, soon to be fully loaded with Star Wars and Marvel and all of the classic Disney films. They're saying all the classic Disney is going to be there on day one. So is some of the Star Wars stuff. So is Marvel. It has released, Disney, check this out. Disney has released 44 films since 2006. Okay? 13 years. 44 films. And those films have grossed $37 billion. For an average of $850 million per movie. Whew. there you go. Another streaming service. All right. Speaking of streaming, you've got to get, oh man, I don't have my cell phone. Rita, bring me my cell phone. I don't have my cell phone. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I don't have my cell phone, but if I did, I would show you the Surfer music streaming app, another streaming service for you. But this one you don't even have to pay for. And it's free. All you got to do is download it. It's really that simple. Go to the Surfer Music Streaming app banners over at jimmychurchradio.com or just go to surfer.fm. That's surfr.fm. It's amazing. It's fun. It's cool. It's easy. And you stay private. And then you get to listen to music. It's really that cool. The Surfer Music Streaming app. All right. Our next event's coming up. Contact in the Desert, May 31st through June 3rd. In Indian Wells, Palm Springs, California, at the Renaissance Indian Wells Resort and Spa. Tickets and info are over at contactinthedesert.com. And then coming up right after that is our Soul Tech 2.0 conference. That is over the July 4th weekend at the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. And you can get all of your tickets and information that you need at soultechgathering.com. Also, go over to Facebook and just join our Soul Tech Official, because that's what it says, Soul Tech Official Facebook group page. It's right there. It's really cool. Okay. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. It is just $2 per month. And I announced this last night on the show. The podcast is now commercial free. Okay. Now we've got over 1,000 shows there archived. We can't go back and just do commercial. It would just take it would take a month of Sundays to get that done. But from here on out, it is commercial free, just $2 per month, and we are going to be doing the same thing on YouTube. Of course, the YouTube live stream is live. This is a live radio show, so the commercials will be there. But the upload that we're going to do the next day will be commercial free. And, of course, all of our archives over at jimmychurchradio.com, when you become a member, all of the archives are available to you there, commercial-free, and are downloadable. So become a Fadernight today over in our membership section on the site. We're doing all of this for you. Okay, we're doing everything for you. This is what we're doing here. Okay, let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Jeremy Clarkson. Somebody I used to like. Today, he is 58 years old. Top Gear, one of the best shows ever on television. But I don't know the name of his new show, though. That Amazon show. What's it called? I don't know. I've never seen it. So, but anyway, Jeremy, for me, once he, punched at one of his producers or did what he did, I just don't dig that, man. I don't look at him the same, but his articles and everything else in Top Gear was something that motivated me for years. So I'm just going to do it here. Happy birthday, Jeremy Clarkson. On this day in history, 1970, on this space day, Apollo 13 launched to the moon. And 2 days later, an oxygen tank exploded, which created a new mission objective, which became to get the Apollo 13 crew home alive, and they did so. Happened on this day in 1970. Fader fact. Here you go. You ready? Fader fact. In 2014, a missing woman on vacation in Iceland was found when it was discovered that she was in the search party looking for herself. And that is your Fader fact. All right, today was a strange day for many reasons. Today was a strange day, and it's like this. I watched Israel fail their attempt to land on the moon. They made it to the moon, but it crashed. Okay? So that happened, and it was a strange thing to see. But it's not what you think. Right after that, I watched the SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch, and that was successful. But that wasn't the most amazing part. In what seemed like mere seconds after seeing everything up in space, the booster rockets came back and landed together. In fact, it seemed like they fell back to Earth. All 3 sections landed safely. The whole Falcon thing from launch, it was incredible to see. From the whole thing, from launch, it took like 10 minutes. Tops. It was crazy. It was insane. And it was very, very fun to watch. But watching those booster rockets fall out of the sky, just and then land in tandem, in unison. It's like, wow, how did we get here, right? But this is the thing. This is what I did before, in between, and after the Israel-U.S. Space Day. I watched a few episodes of Magical Egypt with John Anthony West, the original Chance Gardner-directed Series 1. And it really put things into perspective. And here's the thing. 5,000 years ago, Egypt really had it all figured out. They did. They really did. And I just started to think, and I'm watching I'm watching what we're doing, and crash landing on the moon, and Falcon Heavy, and just crazy technological day. Makes you proud, right? But how is it that we were not flying to the stars 2000 BC? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, you need to follow me on this, because the Egyptians had a total grip on things by 2600 BC. A total grip. They're building the pyramids. Think about that. They had a grip. They had it all figured out. So much so that Greece wouldn't rise from a collection of villages for another 2,000 years. Now, let that sink in for a second or a minute. Let that really sink in. When you really, really think about it, it just doesn't make any sense at all. If you go from year 0 to today, year 0, the crucifixion, the fall of Egypt, you go from year 0 to today. That's 2019 years. What was going on around year 0? Well, nothing. Well, Egypt just fell to the Romans, right? Cleopatra's dead. But the tech and the knowledge, right? If you back up, think about that for a second. Year 0, the technology and the knowledge at year 0 to today. Now, back up off of year 0, 2,000 years. Just back up. Back it up. What is different from year 0 to 2600 BC? What's the difference? You go to, that's 2,600 years. Not much. Seriously. How is it that we can go from year 0 to 2019 and watch those booster rockets fall out of the sky and land? And you back up to the 2600 BC, they're building the pyramids, and 2,000 years up to Greece. 2,000 years. It's a crazy, I don't get it. And as great of a day as it was today, watching the attempted moon landing, the Falcon boosters landing in tandem, we should have been doing this a long, long time ago. And I'm being very, very serious about this statement. You need to just let this sink in for a second, because by 1900, just over 100 years ago, we're using steam engines. Yeah, we had trains. Electricity was the new thing, right? That's 100 years ago. 100 years before that, we weren't much ahead of where Egypt was 5,000 years before that. Yeah, telescopes, but, we had little things here and there, but there was not much difference. Sure, we've come a long way in the last century, and it's exciting times, to be certain, right? And I understand that. But just imagine where we'd be if Egypt had kept their foot on the gas. They let it go. They let their foot off. They went into cruise control. If they would have stayed on course from 2600 BC, 3000 BC, 2600 BC, for those 2,000 years, think about that. Greece, that collection of villages, would have been watching Egypt launching rockets. Think about that. It's unbelievable. But it was a great day. It was an amazing day. What a letdown for Israel. I really, honestly, when they flashed that picture up, the selfie that their lander had taken, I thought, wow, here we go. The next shot is going to be right there, right? Where were they at? The Sea of Tranquility, I think, is where they were attempting to land. And I was like, wow, what are we going to see? This is great. And, what a letdown. But then Falcon X. And watching this stuff, I was intensely wrapped up in this, and it's a very, very proud day. It's a proud day. So Elon Musk has a lot to look forward to, SpaceX and the performance of all of that. And I guess we're going to be using those to get to the moon here in like 3 years. Think about that. All right, it's Fadernight. Thursday, open lines all night long, 747-228-2051. And as I click, I just did that. You saw me do it. I just clicked on open lines and open up the phone lines, and here they go. All right, so let's start banging them through. When I come back after the break, I'll be taking your phone calls. All right, now here are the rules. When you hear my voice, when you call in, you're not going to hear a dial tone or a phone ringing. You're going to hear my voice. Then I'm going to put you on hold. It's going to go silent. So that's the good news. But then when you hear my voice, come back and say, hey, who's calling? Turn your radio down. Okay? That's all you got to do. Show us that courtesy. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back. All right. Putting you on hold.
Yes.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
I'm putting you on hold. Stay right
Network.
there.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
I'm putting you on hold. Stay
Fade to
right
Black
there.
will now pause for alien identification.
Yep.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Putting you on hold.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. It's open lines all night long. Yeah, the new console. I had the talkback mic feeding the network feed. That was funny. You guys got to hear that. I was hearing it in my cans. I was like, wait, whoa, what's going on? But that's what you're going to hear when you get put on hold. All right, let's get this night started. You guys ready? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? It's Christian from Providence, Rhode Island.
Hi, Christian. How are you, man?
Good. How about yourself?
It's Thursday night, Christian. It's Fader night, and it's all good. I'm talking to you.
Sounds great. I'm excited. I am honored to be one of the first callers. I got to say, check out your coffee. Unbelievably delicious.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it? Thank you.
Crazy good. The chocolate, little tone to it, very nice. So, yeah, I do recommend all the listeners check it out.
Thank you for the plug. All right. There you go. All right, Christian, what's on your mind, man?
So, listen, I have been wanting to get some info on this for a while. You're a guy who's in the, knows all the people. You've talked to Richard Dolan, right? You just had him on recently a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I have had, I've always been very interested about the follow-up with Anonymous, 2013, Citizens Hearing on Disclosure. Are you familiar? Do you remember
Of course.
when he interviewed Anonymous?
Right.
So he mentioned that he was going to kind of keep it under, a lot of his information under wraps until Anonymous died, and then kind of go more with it, kind of come out with it. And I go all over the internet. I haven't heard Rich talk about what happened.
Yeah, and I've okay. I have when it comes to Anonymous, I've had most of the principles of Anonymous on this show. Okay, so the founder of Anonymous and the great, Greg Hausch and Gabriella and the whole crew has been on the show multiple times. And,
not those folks.
Okay. Then what are you referring to? Because Richard and I have talked about Anonymous a lot.
Sorry, let me back up. Yeah. So 2013, I think it was. There was a citizens hearing on disclosure. During that time, they aired a video of Richard Dolan in a hotel room, who was interviewing a gentleman who wanted to remain anonymous. So when you go on YouTube and
Yes, you're talking about, and I'll think of his name here in a second. He passed away. You're talking about the whistleblower.
Yeah. I couldn't find his name for the life of me on the internet.
Oh, no.
I went all over YouTube, Richard Dolan's site, and I thought Richard was going to come out with it afterwards. And I love him. I think he's one of the most sincere, prolific people out there who really needs to be put on a pedestal more. But I couldn't find this guy's name for the life of me.
Yeah, it's out there. Bounce over to Twitter. Because Lloyd, what was his name? He ended up producing a couple of videos. All of his background is up there. I believe he worked for Rocketdyne and maybe even Lockheed. Lloyd Bushman, that's his name. That's his name. That's all you got to do. You got to look that up, and everything is there. Okay, so there's tons of information out there, and he produced a couple of videos too as well. And if you go over to Twitter, probably in the next 2 or 3 minutes after this phone call with you, all the videos will be right there, and you can go and check it out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
All right, Christian. Have a great night, man, and you're right about Richard Dolan. He's the man.
Oh, he's the best. I appreciate it. Hey, enjoy. Congrats on the 1,000+.
Thank you, man. Behave, Christian.
Take care.
It's a great phone call. I think wasn't it Lloyd Bushman? Right? Am I right about that? Somebody get that up there. Bushman. I'm trying to think of his name, but yeah, I think it's Bushman. All right. Let's get it up there on Twitter and somebody pop up the videos, but there should be enough of it, especially if you just look up Bushman. Whistleblower, UFOs. It'll all be right there. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Kay, and I'm calling from Detroit.
Hi, Kay from Detroit. What's going on?
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? I watch you all the time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate your program and love your show. And I was calling about a year ago. I was looking out my back door when I was letting my dog out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was a dragonfly-shaped craft that flew past my backyard. Even though it was going towards Metro Airport, it wasn't going in that direction. It was going from east to west. And it had 4 wings, 2 wings up, 2 wings down, orange lights all the way around every wing and the craft itself. And it probably passed in a distance of 3 miles in less than 2 seconds.
How big was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, I would say it was probably about the size of, not quite as big as like the jets that would go over going to Metro, but it was only about 200 feet in the air. It was barely covering the treetops.
Was there any other chat on the Detroit news or anything in the newspapers, or did anybody else see it?
I didn't hear anything. I don't really watch a lot of TV or news. I spend most of my time listening to Coast or podcasting you or whatever, and but there was nothing on local news. No.
Okay, what month was it? It was a year ago, like a year ago this month?
It was a year ago this month.
Okay,
yeah,
so
right
April.
It was just breaking spring, and it was the strangest thing, but it wasn't the first time. And back in 2000, I saw 2 white saucers that were hovering about a mile away, and they were just there. And I blinked because it was in the middle of the day. I thought, oh, it's just a cloud passing by, and it wasn't. It was 2 flying saucers, and they were both side by side. And one went gone, the other one went, and it was gone as well. So,
well, these are
I've
exciting.
had a couple experiences of UFOs that have crossed over my area, and I'm about 15 miles from Metro Airport, but so I'm used to planes going over and, hearing those kind of things. But these were silent. These were absolutely no sound whatsoever. One in the middle of the day and one at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Those are 2 great sightings, and I'm really interested in this dragonfly type of craft because this was only a year ago. So let's,
right. And I looked up I tried to Google it. I went to several sites to see if I could find anything similar, and I only came across something that was slightly similar. It had 2 wings going up and 2 wings going down, but there were no lights. These were orange lights, kind of like Halloween orange-looking lights, that color orange. And it was all the way around each wing, all 4 of them, all the way around the body of the craft. No sound, and it was going so fast that I didn't have time to even open. I was letting my dog out at 3 in the morning. So anyways, I didn't have time to even open the door and close the door, and that's how fast it was going. So I redid it in my mind and went 1,001, 1,002, and so that's about 2 seconds. And that's how fast it went across about a 3-mile area.
Well, let's see. Well, and keep your eye on Twitter. And, I'm just asking everybody in Detroit, a year ago, did you see anything? And and we'll see what happens. But thank you for that, Kay. Great phone call. Great sightings.
Yeah, I just have one more quick story. I was watching a full moon, and every time there's a full moon, I see a strange craft or maybe a star, not a star, but a light in the sky that doesn't belong there.
Did you see the video
one day, and I just said, "Oh, it's a full moon."
Right.
So I'm just gonna put my camera on it, and something's gonna pop up. I just know it because every time you want to catch something, you don't have the camera. So I stood there for about 3 minutes and filmed the full moon, and sure enough, there was a blue laser light that came down on my garage from nowhere.
Whoa!
When I went back over and over and over, I watched it 100 times more, just because I'm looking for something, and there's nothing to show where the light source was coming from. And that whole night, the sky was completely clouded out, except right when the moon was becoming exactly full, and it was in a position where I could get a picture of it. The clouds just dissipated for about maybe a minute, and I was able to film the moon, and then all of a sudden this blue beam came down on my garage, and that was in January of 2017, and things have not been the same in my life since.
Well, you need to take some pictures for us, Kay.
I did.
You did?
I have them.
Post them up in Twitter. Let me see them, okay? What's your name on Twitter? Yeah, what's your name on Twitter?
You know what? I'm not on Twitter, but I'm going to be.
Okay. Well,
I just kind of shy away from social media because I'm real busy. I rescue cats, and so I'm just really busy. But these things have taken place in my life in the last couple of years, and so I just wanted to call in and let you know that I appreciate your show. I watch it every night, and you've changed my life.
Thank you, Kay. All right. And behave and send me those pictures to my email, jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Okay?
You know what? I will do that.
Thank you, Kay.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. From the Motor City, that was Kay. Thank you for that. But that whole dragonfly comment, and you guys know where I'm coming from when it comes to like the Dragonfly drones and that whole trip. So yeah, that part of it is pretty cool. You never know, right? You just don't. Let's keep the phones going here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Right on, Jimmy. This is Brother Bob Noxious from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, my man. How are you?
I'm doing good, Bob. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. First-time caller, long-time watcher, listener. I'm sitting here with my son, Soren. He's 12. He's hooked on you, too.
What's his name?
Soren.
Thorin. Tell him
Soren.
Tell him I said yo.
He's watching you on the TV in the other room, so he just heard it.
All right. There you go.
So, hey, I got a tragedy and hope story, man.
Okay.
So you know the book Tragedy and Hope, right?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
So it's been, well, good Lord, man. It reads like it's just like 1,387 pages of data and statistics. It's a tough read.
Okay.
So anyways, I listened to, I'm not a big reader. You know, I'm 52, grew up probably doing the same stuff that you did. And so I like to listen to books. And so I listened to Tragedy and Hope 101, and it kind of tears it apart and gives all the good parts. But what happened was, one day, I'm looking through my phone, and for some reason, it took me on to Amazon. And it said, Tragedy and Hope, 1 copy available. Do you want it? I'm like, holy cow, man, yeah. I've been trying to get this book for over 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And the libraries don't carry it. It is not available. It's out of print. They originally burnt or destroyed the plates in 1968.
Mm-hmm.
It was printed in the year of my birth, 1966. So anyways, I say, yeah, I'll take that book, man, right on. I've been searching for it. I've been talking with my friends about it. I think I heard about it on Alex Jones or something maybe. So I go, yeah, I'll take it. So that's about 5:45 on a Saturday night. I go out, have a good time, come home, go to bed, wake up in the morning, I start watching videos on how to grow date palms.
Okay.
So I ate these dates, and I thought, well, can I sprout these things up here in Canada? So I sprout them. I've got 5 date palms growing in my house right now.
Oh, that's cool. So do I.
It is.
So do I.
So it's like right out of the box. Like I ate the date, and now I'm sprouting the plant. So anyways, I'm laying there on the couch, kind of rooted on her the night before, went to the commercial hotel, went to the Strathcona Hotel, saw some blues, had some beers, had some fun. About 10:30, I go, I gotta go to the can. I go to the bathroom, the doorbell rings. I come out, look out the front door, there's nobody there. I look down, there's the box. It was less than 17 hours.
Wow.
That book was on my doorstep.
How long did it take you to read it? How long did it take you to read it?
I am still reading it. I'm on page 117.
Yeah, you know what I did? This was a couple of years ago. I got the audio book, right? And
exactly.
I started. It took me. I can't even tell you how many hours it is. It's. But I think
58 hours.
Yeah, something like that.
It says on the bottom of my talk-to-speech thing, it says 58 hours.
Yeah, 58 hours. Because it was in like 7-hour sections. And so I gave it I gave it a whirl for a couple of nights. It's pretty tedious. It's pretty tedious.
It's beyond tedious.
Yeah, because it's like day to day. So on April 13th, and then April 14th, and then April 15th. But I did. I'm gonna have to go back and I forget who did.
Well, you gotta read Tragedy and Hope 101 because it's a much shorter book, and it only gives you the good parts. It's like the Cole's Notes or the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, there's another book similar to that called The History of Everything, and that was written a couple of years ago. Equally as tedious, though,
cool.
But not quite as dense.
So my question is,
yes.
I got a crazy question for you. What is going on in Amazon for them to have that one book 17 hours away? It came from Oshawa, Ontario.
Right.
And I live in Edmonton, Alberta.
Right.
Do you know how far that is?
Right. Well, look, it's
far, man.
I don't get it.
Like, how did it get to my house in 17 hours?
Look,
what was Amazon? What's running in the background?
I know.
What logarithm is following me around, Jimmy?
Bob, we order stuff. Rita and I will be, this is no joke, right? We'll be, on our back porch and we'll be looking around. I'll give you an example, okay? She goes, Rita says, you know what? Let's put up some fairy lights around the fence on the patio. Let's put up some fairy lights. And it's like 5:00 in the evening. I said, okay. So she's on her phone, right? And she goes, okay, I can get 133 feet of fairy lights for $19 free shipping. And I was like, okay, all right, I guess. Solar powered, right? I was like, okay. Boom, she orders them. 8:00 in the morning the next day. Amazon.
I know.
Delivering.
But you guys are in LA though, right?
But it doesn't matter. It was like 8 hours. They got to process the order. They've got to box it. They got to put a label on it. It's got to go into a truck. It's got to, wait a minute here. I didn't even have enough time to change my mind.
That's exactly it. So there's some serious mathematical equations going on in the background that's keeping track of us.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about it, Bob.
The real freaky thing is, though, like, there was only one book, Jimmy. Said there's only one book available.
Yeah. And you got it.
And how did they, like, I can't be the only guy in North America, in Canada, looking for that book. How did they get it to me so fast?
Now, was it new or used?
Brand new, man. I didn't even open it for 3 days.
Okay, so this
I was scared. I thought it was going to say, here you go, Bob.
Bob, this is the thing. They print those. Okay, so you order it, and they make the book in seconds and ship it to you. They don't
not 1384. It's a 1994 pressing of it.
Oh, you're not hearing me. Okay, Amazon has warehouses of books, most of them used. Okay, but when it comes to a new book, right? They print them.
No.
They print them. Go.
No way.
There's your rabbit hole for the night. They print them. All these self-published books, all these publishers, all this stuff, man. You send your book to Amazon, you send them the file. They're not printing 1,000 books and putting them in a warehouse. The order comes in, they print the book, slap the cover on it, trim it, put it in an envelope. In a few minutes, it's on its way to you.
I think my heart just stopped, Jimmy. You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not. There's your rabbit hole for the night, Bob. Enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. Great phone call, though.
Later.
Tell your son I said, yo, thank you.
Yo.
And this is the thing, and thank you for that, Bob. This is no joke. All the stuff that goes on with Amazon these days when it comes to book publishing, they print those to order. That's how it goes down. They print them to order. So think about that. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy, it's Kimmy from Ormond by the Sea, Florida.
Hey, Kimmy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's Thursday night, Kimmy.
I know, your favorite night.
It is.
Mine too.
Especially when you call. What's on your mind?
I wanted to thank you profusely for River Moon Coffee.
That's the second call tonight. Okay. Yeah. I know, so right? You know what? See, this is the truth, Kimmy, and then we'll get to the reason why you called. But the coffee is so good, I cannot be a big enough, loud enough hype man. I can't.
I know.
And I know.
Me either.
I know that no matter what, I know that the coffee is going to exceed anything that I say about it. It's really that good. It's absolutely amazing coffee. And now that you said that, I'm going to take a sip and say, what's on your mind?
Don't forget that. Perfect.
All right, Kimmy, what's on your mind?
Perfect. I just want to say thank you, number one, for taking my call. And for having this show. I never in a million years thought that there would be so many like-minded people with the same kind of, what the hell is that kind of, on any level.
Right.
I had no idea.
Right.
My husband Chuck turned me on to you a few years ago, and I'm a huge fan, greatly huge fan. Well, I've been thinking about coming over to Colorado.
Yeah, well, and I hope to see you there. And what's really great when I hear you say that is it's a very simple thing, that this show was from the very beginning was just about the things that I like, that I'm interested in. And whatever it is, whether it's, drinking coffee or heavy metal music or Egypt and the pyramids and time travel and yeah, right, tacos and UFOs and conspiracy and all of these things. These are, what I enjoy in life. And if I just went down that road and pursued these interests, that there would be others out there interested in the same things. That's it.
Yeah, but it's your interest and your how interested you are. It's infectious. You get so excited that you can't help but know that this is real. This is not some fake dude on a radio show. My dad had a radio show, and I would listen to all kinds of people call in, and you could tell when they're fake. You can tell. You are the real deal.
Thank you for that, Kimmy. Thank you for that. And I really mean that. And, you're part of the family. You're here. And I want to thank Chuck. I want to thank Chuck, but, that's what this is. It's the spirit of the family and the friendships that we have built. When I go out and I get a chance, like you said, Colorado, I get to go and hang out with all of the Fadernauts. I pretty much, unless it's somebody that is brand new, I know everybody by name, right? And
I believe it.
And they know everybody else, and it's totally cool. It's totally cool.
I know, and I do. What's crazy is I actually, through all the time of listening to all these different people that call in, I actually feel like I know these people. It's weird. I've never really felt that before, where I'm never going to see these people probably, till we come out to Colorado. But I mean, I feel like I know them all. I know their story. I know it's an intimate thing, and there's not a whole lot of there isn't any other show that shares that. So you rock. You totally rock, and you really do rock.
Thank you, Kimmy. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay? Go spend some time with Chuck, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimmy. That's a great phone call right there from Florida. And with that, let's take our break. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It is Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'm going to get to everybody after this short break. Fade to Black. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Watching this YouTube chat is off the hook. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, 3V. Thank you, Leanna. That's really cool. I didn't expect any of that. Very cool. You guys are the best. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. Introducing the new Surfer Music app. Listen, Fadernaut, you know I love my music. This is my go-to for all things notes. The Surfer app is a brand new concept in music listening. Surfer is free, providing unlimited access to thousands of live streaming radio stations. Surfer is an exciting, interactive listening experience. Discovery and surprise are built right in. Surfer is your destination to discover and rediscover great live streaming music. It features high-quality audio streams, free free access to music from thousands of live streaming radio stations, unlimited listening, unlimited skipping. You get a music visualizer, and you can also select your favorite channels. Get it at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search Surfer Music or click on the Surfer banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied, but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers, and you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernight by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It is Thursday night. It is Fader night. This is truly my favorite night of the week, where I just get a chance to kick back and hang out with all of you. UFOs, paranormal, supernatural, time travel, conspiracies, experiences, contact, whatever. All right.
right? That's what we do on Thursday nights. And I'm looking at these phones. I'm going to get to everybody in this break, okay? Watch this. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Tarita. How are you?
Hey, Tarita, how are you? Take me off a speaker, will you?
Yeah. Okay, better?
Nope. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we're live on the air, Tarita, so let's just ignore that. How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm good. Jimmy, it's taken me a little while to kind of bounce back and be able to digest a little bit about some things that I had passed through and what was going on. I didn't know if it was actually happening or if I was being put in a situation where I was supposed to go fix something. So I just, instead of panicking, I just started praying and started recognizing what was going on. About a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so, I was out to a friend's house and they were fixing their water lines, and I was inside and all the power got knocked out. And didn't think anything of it really. Thought maybe it was just an electrical thing at their house. Well, anyway, I go outside and I look over to Bear Butte, and it looks like it's like erupting, or there was like this big, huge, hazy cloud around it. It looked like fog. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what? It looks like Bear Butte's on fire. And so I jump in my car and I take off, and my friends are like, oh, it's just rain, it's going to rain, it's just snow. And I'm like, no, something else is going on. And so I take off and I start driving towards Bear Butte, and all of a sudden all this fog, it just descends on top of the Black Hills, like all around us, and it's heavy. And I'm like, what is going on? Something is really weird happening. I didn't really digest that part. I just knew that something strange was going on. And so anyway, after all that fog lifted, it stayed on top of us, and it just sat there. It was dense. Nothing was moving. It wasn't swirling. It was just sitting there. And I kind of started panicking a little bit. I'm like, what's happening? And I was out on these country roads, and I was kind of researching. I was driving around. I'm looking, and I'm seeing all these county workers out there fixing all these electrical poles. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? I'm not going to go into a lot of the detail on everything, but there was people. There was none of I couldn't really reach any of my friends. I was like stopping by at my friend's house to go check and see, like, hey, did you guys see? But nobody was home, and I'm like, this is so weird. And I'm like, oh, okay. So after a while,
Tarita, let me jump in. What happened?
Well, the bottom line, what had happened was some kind of an electrical force. I don't know. I think I was in another different timeline again, just like when I went back to the reservation that time. I think I was like in this timeline where I was noticing that there was like an electrical force had hit the earth or something in there, because I took lots of pictures. I was out taking pictures. I was out taking videos. All the birds were flying underneath this great big huge blanket of fog that was at once here, but now it's above us. And there was all these airplanes, private planes and jets. They were flying all over, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I'm trying to find some local friends, like, hey, do you guys see what's going on? And anyway, so what had happened was there was some kind of an electrical force that had hit, and it kind of like scorched the earth a little bit. And I was I was traumatized over it. I was like, this is so weird. What's happening to me? Why am I getting put through this again? I start to get scared. I start panicking. And anyway, so I just started praying, and I ended up staying out that whole day, and I'm tired. And so I go out at nighttime. I went out and I sat in my car, and I was so tired, it's like ready to fall asleep. But I stayed awake, and about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, these lights came down on top of Sturgis and on top of Spearfish Jimmy, and they were bright. I mean, just bright. They were just sitting there. And I was like, wow. I was like, is that Star Nation? And so I started praying. I'm like, okay, whatever's happening here, help us. Like, heal the planet, whatever's going on, whatever this electrical force is, whatever it is, help us. I'm just meditating and I'm praying, and then I take off because I kind of got scared a little. I mean, when I experience this stuff, my human body gets scared of what's happening. So I take off and I go back into town. There's hardly anybody in town, and all that girl that just got off the phone with you, she's talking about those orange lights, or the girl before that was talking about these like Halloween orange lights. Well, that's how the whole town, Spearfish, was lit up with all these orange lights, and so was Sturgis. There was nobody on the roads except for a few semis. I get back into Spearfish, and I'm panicking. I'm like, what is going on? Something's happening. And that light was sitting right above Spearfish. It was just sitting there. It was so luminous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what the hell's going on? So anyway, I had taken a bunch of pictures that day, and I started posting them on Facebook. So that next day, I go home, I go to bed, I get up the next morning, and the whole, like, that cloud is still up there, and there's all these planes flying around. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm snapping pictures of all the planes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get pictures. And I go start driving through the hills, and I see all these trees are just burned, like scorched, but not from the ground, but they're, like, scorched from the top into the insides. And I went back up to Bear Butte, and the buffalo, even they were like scorched, and they were standing inside the snow, and that's not like them to do that, but they were like standing in there. I got out of my car, and I walked up, and they were just looking over at me, and so I told them I was going to pray for them to be okay. And anyway, long story short, something in that timeline had happened where there was something went off electricity-wise. It was an electrical, some kind of shock on the planet. So anyway, it took me about a week. I was traumatized for about a week over it. I was like, what's going on? Like, I can't handle when I go through this stuff. I don't know who to talk to. I mean, I can't just go to the police station and be like, hey, will you help me? Or, God, put me in a psych ward and somebody please, a doctor, talk to me and tell me what's going on. I can't do that kind of stuff because I know better. I know that people are going to think like, okay, she's on drugs, or she's crazy, or she's hallucinating. And so I just keep it to myself, and I pray about it, and I went out and smudged and gave sage and put prayers out. And so finally, last Sunday, I walked like 7 miles in prayer from Spearfish to Whitewood. I prayed, and I was like, whatever's going on, just make sure that our planet is taken care of, and we'll make awareness, and we'll start being more about humanity. And so I just kind of left it like that. But, I was listening to your guest, not last night, but the night before, and he was talking about the Mandela effect and the timelines and stuff, and I was like, oh, thank you, Star Nation. You put somebody on his show that could comfort me, that could explain all that to me, and I don't have to feel like I'm losing my mind or going crazy and I don't know who to talk to. So, I mean, I'm just so grateful, Jimmy, that I'm telling you that Star Nation uses you. I call them, Star Nation, they're the extraterrestrials, artificial intelligence. They use your radio show to put people on so that I can get educated. I mean, I educate myself too, but just to hear somebody talk about it, I went to sleep listening to it. I was like, thank you, Jimmy, thank you. I was like, I'm going to call Thursday night. I'm going to stay up, and I will call and tell him that what had happened, and I will thank you, and I appreciate, that they do that they use your radio station to educate me. And I'm like, gosh, I just have this unbelievable communication contact with them that they put me through these timelines, and then I'm scared, of course. I just told you I was panicking through it, but I prayed, I stayed calm through it, I recognized what was happening, I addressed it, I prayed for it, and then I just regrouped for a while trying to just digest the whole process. But I am going to do a walk from Spearfish to Rapid City. That's like 47 miles. But each week I'm going to walk, and I'm going to wear your Fade to Black hat. That's going to be what's up. I'm going to advertise you out there and go ahead and let the people, the police stations and the highway patrols, because they always see me out there walking. I'm going to let them know that I'm walking in prayer for humanity and that we bring good, that the planet heals, so that we're all on a good, positive frequency. And I'm going to go from Whitewood to Sturgis, and then the next day I'll go from Sturgis to Piedmont, the next week, and then from Piedmont into Rapid, and I'll do my whole 47 miles. But that's just for all to make awareness for the disclosure of the ETs and that they're here, they're helping us, and just to make awareness on human trafficking. And when I was in that timeline, they were showing me all this human trafficking that was going on, and I was like, what is happening? Like, why are you showing me that it's my daughter that's being trafficked? And I was trying to get a hold of my daughter. I couldn't call her. During that whole timeline, that whole 24 hours, it was just weird. The whole thing was just goofy. I don't even know how to explain it. I can't explain it. But anyway, so I feel like once I came back out of there and got back into this, after I prayed for it and came home and just kind of regrouped a little bit, I realized that when they put me through this, it's so mind-blowing. some of the times I just wish that I could just go drink some beer and just numb up and forget everything that's happening, but I have to stay grounded. I have to stay focused. And even if it feels like I'm going crazy, I have to stay grounded because they bring people like that guy. I think his name was Adam. Was that his name?
Could have been. Oh, I got a word
That
in.
was on your...
Oh, whoa. I got a word in. Hey, Tarita. So everything is better up there. That's the good news. And thank you for that update. And I want to see some pictures, so send them and post them on Twitter. I want to see pictures of the clouds around the mountain with the airplanes. Will you do that for me?
I sent them to you. I put them on my Facebook, Jimmy, and I hashtagged them over to you.
Okay. I'd have to, email's always best, Tarita.
Email. Okay.
All right.
I will do that.
I
will do that. I just want you to know that I'm thanking you for and I'm thanking Star Nation for putting guests on your show to educate me, to calm me down, because it's been almost 3 weeks now, and I was paralyzed. I mean, I was so mentally, I digested it and just kept it to myself like I always do. I always keep it to myself until I know. Once you put that guy on, he was your guest, that's when I was like, okay, boom, thank you, there's my evidence. I got it.
There you go. Tarita, thank you so much. Behave up there, okay?
I will. Thank you so much for having me on, Jimmy, and I want you to know that I love you and Rita. You guys are just my people, and I will be wearing your hat while I'm walking for humanity. It's going to be like when Forrest Gump ran across the United States. Maybe I'm just going to walk it.
Run, Tarita, run. I'll talk
No, I can't. I'll walk. But thank you, Jimmy. I will keep you posted, and I will put some pictures up of my walk and just let you know that this is our year, and we're going to be out there, and we're going to do good, and we'll plan on putting some time away so that I can come down to Soltech and come see y'all. Thank
you so much, Tarita. Have a great night.
Thanks for taking my call tonight.
Thanks,
Jimmy.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Whoa. Tarita's got a lot of information, but if you stop and you think about what you just said and a couple of notes there, one was the buffalo, that they were burnt. That's pretty interesting. And the other part was that the trees were burnt from the top, not from the ground up, but from the top down. That was pretty interesting. Let's and anybody else up there that saw that, went through that through the last couple of weeks, let me know. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Mr. Church, it's Jason Preston. How you doing?
Hey, Jason, how are you? I'm
doing well.
How's that
Happy
video?
Fadernight.
How's that video?
You want to jump right into that, or do you want the complete story? Because it's a doozy.
Well, yeah, we only have so much time before the break, but I'll let everybody know. Jason was the one that posted up the pictures of Shazam and his catalog of Shazam and the videotape, and he found the videotape, but then the videotape disappeared for 3 weeks, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And then
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then it reappeared, and you watched it. Everybody in Twitter was asking you the other night with Adam Curry when he was on the phone to shoot it, watch it, and shoot it with your cell phone and show us what was on the videotape. And apparently you couldn't do that because
the movie is no longer there. In its place is a Christmas movie that I've never seen before in my life. And the odd thing is, a little bit of the backstory is the neighbor tape initially belonged to my neighbor. She was the one that did all the cataloging.
Mm-hmm.
And we reviewed this with her a couple years ago. She had never heard of the Mandela effect. And she swore up and down that Shazam was on there. And she knew where it was in the listing, and she pulled it up. When we initially watched it together, she freaked out because she never kept Christmas movies on anything other than tapes with Christmas movies. And if you even look at the index that I had posted, there's little notations for the Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm.
So here we expected to find Shazam. We were all getting ready for it, and she lost her mind when in its place was a random Christmas movie that neither one of us had ever seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie picks up shortly after the title card. So I have no way of knowing what the title of this Christmas movie is. It's a cartoon. I've never seen it before. And it was a big old egg on my face for this movie, because it was really upsetting. And I think the part that was missing was I never called you back to tell you what I found because I think my initial call to you several years ago, I was at the point where the tape had disappeared, where we went and she found it, turned around, the tape was gone, and then 3 weeks. But I never made the call back to tell you we had actually found it. So that was my fault for getting everybody's hopes up that the movie that Shazam was actually on there. So once again, the Mandela effect wins. You know,
I know,
like
right?
You can't every time you get close, it's like if you don't play your cards right when you're researching this stuff, it's like something pulls the rug out from underneath of you. One day somebody's going to nail it, but they are going to have to. I feel like it's almost a contest, you know?
Right.
They're going to have to meticulously note everything. I just wonder if the tape would have never been sat down, you know, and left out of sight. You know, what would it have been on there? You know, it was extremely frustrating, but this is the closest thing I have to like any type of proof that it ever existed, because there's no reason that, you know, Shazam would have been written down, and there's no reason it would have been written down on a tape, except for the fact that at some point in time, in some reality, in some timeline, that movie actually existed, and everybody remembers it. She remembers it. She's a 70-year-old woman who has no concept of what the Mandela effect is, doesn't know about parallel dimensions, doesn't know about any of that stuff, and she remembers Kazam and Shazam. I feel like it's just it drives you nuts to the point where nobody really believes you. You know, that's the problem. Unless somebody's experienced it, they just think you have false memories. But to the people who've experienced this stuff, man, it's a mind fudge, you know. But it really exists, and I wish I could bring something else to the table as far as actual physical proof. But this is the best I can do is the pictures.
Yeah, it which is fine. Could you imagine? Let's say you played it back and the movie's there. You shoot the cell phone video. We post it up on Twitter. The video is there. Do you understand how the world would have changed? You know, maybe it's best that it wasn't there, right? Maybe it's just best that we don't. God, man, I just can't imagine what that would have been like, Jason.
And that was the moment I was hoping for, and I thought we were going to get it. And then shortly before we played it, my heart sank, and I had to tell her, I was like, "Don't be surprised if this isn't on here anymore." And she said, "What do you mean? I recorded it. Why wouldn't it be on here?" She's a very religious woman, and her mind was absolutely blown. And in some ways, I almost think that is, for me personally, is like confirmation enough, is to see somebody who isn't into this stuff have that type of visceral reaction.
Right.
You know, it's not the world, it's not the internet breaking event that I was hoping it was going to be, but it's a little bit of something.
It was so cool, man. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
And for me to bring it up, because you had sent it to me like 2 years before, 3 years before, I forgot that it was you. Right. And I remember you telling me about her. Anyway, the point is you were listening, you picked up on it, you were able to send in the pictures again, and we were able to see it. That's what, you know, to me, that's what's most important. So thank you so much.
2 nights in a row, because you had mentioned it with Billy Carson, too.
That's right. That's right.
So,
that's right.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of your night, my man. Thank you, Jason.
You too, Mr. Church. You have a good evening.
Keep
going to rock uphill.
Thank you, Jason. Bye. Yeah, that we were close. We were so close to having the whole Shazam thing resolve itself. Wouldn't that, you know, but could the world have handled it? You know, that's the question. Could the world have handled that kind of situation? Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Neil Williams.
Neil, how are you?
All right, how you doing, Mr. Church? I got a question. I was listening to your episode with Billy Carson, and my question was, how much of the there's a hieroglyph with the pyramids that showed it showed like a picture of what looked like a flying saucer, a ship, and a ship on the hieroglyph.
Yes, in front of the Sphinx. So, what's your question about it?
Right. Is there a connection with what he was speaking about, saying that in the book of the Emerald Tablets of it being a ship that he believes is underneath the Sphinx.
Well, yeah. I don't know if we made a direct connection with that during the show, and I don't know if he has. What he was talking about was that he had a reproduction of the papyrus scroll with that image on it. He was describing it to us. But yeah, wouldn't that be interesting? I don't think that he did. That's my memory. But I'll refer back over to Twitter. And everybody on Twitter's got a better memory than I do.
Okay, because I was just curious, because when he was speaking about it, it brought me back to watching the documentary that showed that, and I was like, well, did they ever decipher that portion of the hieroglyphs? I mean, do you have an idea of a percentage rate of how much has been deciphered throughout the entire hieroglyphs that they found so far?
Well, that's a great question. That is an amazing question, Neil. I have asked pretty much directly that same question, in that, has everything been cataloged, and is there a reference point to everything that is on every wall, everything in the Valley of the Kings, all of the pyramid texts, all of the coffin texts? When you go to the Met in New York, they have a papyrus scroll there that goes the length of this room, and I would bet to say it's at least 50 feet long, unbroken, goes all the way down. And you walk, and it's about a foot tall, maybe 16 inches tall, 50 feet long, and you can start at the beginning and walk. And I'm just thinking to myself, what does this say? And is there, has it been transcribed? And when you think about Karnak and Dendera and all of the tombs and, the pyramid text, has all of it, Edfu, right? The builder's text, the builder's wall. Has everything been documented, and is there a source for that, including the calendar? Where they talk about these specific dates in Egypt, and when they can go back to whatever, 2000 BC, and specifically talk about these dynasties and dates and stuff. Well, where is it, and where's the proof of that? How much of it is out there? So I ask the same things, Neil. I really do. I never get a firm answer, by the way. So just so you know.
I appreciate the show.
Yeah, thank you, Neil.
Excellent job, Mr. Church.
And have a great night.
You too, thanks.
It's a great phone call. And it's really a bottom line situation when we talk about things like this, which is, and it's a very simple point, how much of it is documented, how much of, when we talk about, I mentioned today, timelines about BC and so forth, right? Well, in that respect, when somebody says 3000 BC, 2600 BC, 2650 BC, 2000 BC, where are the dates coming from? Where are they coming from? Because it's not like the calendar that we have here. It's not 2600 BC, according to their dating of the pyramids. It could be 8000 BC. I'm just saying. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. More of your phone calls are next. 747-228-2051. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernight? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Introducing the new Surfer Music app. Listen, Fadernauts, you know I love my music. This is my go-to for all things notes. The Surfer app is a brand new concept in music listening. Surfer is free, providing unlimited access to thousands of live streaming radio stations. Surfer is an exciting, interactive listening experience. Discovery and surprise are built right in. Surfer is your destination to discover and rediscover great live streaming music. It features high-quality audio streams, free access to music from thousands of live streaming radio stations, unlimited listening, unlimited skipping. You get a music visualizer, and you can also select your favorite channels. Get it at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search Surfer Music or click on the Surfer banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new paranormal radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the paranormal radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Wow. What a great night. Fader night. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. bouncing around between this YouTube Super Chat and TweetDeck and trying to keep up on all of this and then glancing over at the chat rooms and trying to keep up with that. It's a bit much, but you guys are having fun. And so let's keep this going. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
It's Deet. Deet is calling tonight.
Hi, Deet. How are you?
Pretty good. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's Thursday night, Deet, but you knew that.
I did know that.
Yeah, right. So what's on your mind tonight?
Jimmy, I wanted to ask you, what's your take on the whole hybrid topic?
Well, it depends. I have many views on it. I'll say this: if I'm going to go hybrid, I am firmly in agreement that something happened about 200,000 years ago. I think that definitely there was a hybrid program going on, and things changed. I mean, I think scientifically we can all agree on that. And I would even say that geneticists and scientists that are looking at the DNA question, and they go and they look and the chromosome count and the pairs and why we are so different and how we just appeared here is something that what is that? Is that you? Wow, that was absolutely bizarre. Okay, all right. Man, that was weird. That came out of nowhere. So there's that part of it. Now, Is there something going on today? I don't know. Maybe, so you tell me what's going on with the hybrid stuff.
Well, what I can tell you about the hybrid stuff is that the hybrid thing that's going on right now is a culmination of a very, very large-scale plan that a bunch of ETs put together. Mostly within the Federation, but some outliers too, to sort of bring humanity up into a more ascended state on the planet and mentally. And now we're already in the midst of that, because we've reached the threshold where there's like a frequency threshold of Earth that needed to be reached before certain souls could incarnate here, and we've reached that threshold. So now a lot of beings around the planet have started to physically make efforts to have a lot of hybrids on the planet via surrogate parents and a couple other means, but mostly that one.
And if how would we find the markers in the DNA that would show something like this happening?
Well, I would say the most basic markers you can look for is a large amount of new mutations. There's going to be a lot of markers for psychic ability that are on, but in mainstream science, you haven't yet identified those markers. So I would just say try to find people that have a large amount of mutations in a relatively short amount of genetic time for their family. That'll usually be the dead giveaway.
Right. And what could we handle? Look, if science started to see this, where there was a definite proof of something, how would the world react?
And see, that's an excellent question. That's why this was such a big plan, and a whole lot of planning went into this, because humans tend to react certain ways, especially fearfully. But the way that we've planned and set it up is so that it's going to be so gradual that even if people see it, and start to feel like, oh, this is strange, I don't really understand it, it's going to be so gentle and gradual that it won't really scare you. Because all the hybrids are going to be inhabited by souls that have good intentions, at least preliminarily. People's natures can change as they grow. But generally, we all come here to Earth just to help. So even if you meet a hybrid, especially one like myself, we just want to help. We are strange, yeah, and we're, aliens, but we just come to help, and we can show that.
I'm listening. We can show that.
Oh yeah. Well, this goes into sort of everything, because every hybrid that's that's coming into the Earth right now. They're bringing their skills, too. Like, when you meet the average starseed, they'll tell you that they can remember things about their past life, but it's harder for them because they're human incarnated. But for hybrids, it's much easier for us to bring over the memories and the abilities and the skills from our past lives. So we'll be contributing to all the fields that humanity currently knows of, and we'll be making a couple new ones in the scientific fields.
Does the hybrid program, does the hybrid program occur here, though? Are the changes, the interactions, is that happening on Earth? But you're saying that when hybrids arrive here. So
yeah,
I'm trying to understand what you're suggesting.
We have some now, and we have more coming. We're sort of in part 1 of 4, I guess.
Right, but what I'm wondering is the hybrids are leaving Earth and going somewhere else and then returning? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. Most of the hybrids come directly from their planets spiritually.
And where does so the hybrid part, though, my thought when I hear hybrid, I'm thinking humans and ETs have crossbred. Is that a hybrid?
That's true, but that's the more rare kind. Most of the hybrids that exist right now and will exist into the near future will just be more like genetically created, not necessarily from relationships.
Oh, I got you. So when you say hybrid, arriving here, it is a genetically modified, mutated species that's off planet that is arriving here. It not necessarily with humans.
Yes and no, actually. There's both cases. There's hybrids that are created and then given to human beings, and then there are hybrids in space right now that are waiting to come to the surface.
Do they? What do they look like? I mean, that's what everybody wants to know, right? Would we recognize a hybrid as being a hybrid? Or?
Oh, you totally would. That's why they're in space waiting, because a lot of hybrids have been created, and the ones that very, very easily do not look human, they're waiting in space right now. They have very big eyes, very big heads. They have very distinctive body proportions, and they can be hybrids of different species, so they might have some scales, they might have some feathers. There's a lot of different hybrids right now.
And would the sight of a hybrid, would that be traumatizing?
Well, there's definitely some hybrids that look alien enough to scare humans. But
I'm just going to let you know somebody has broken through a Skype line that is not open. So whoever is doing it, stop. I have no idea. I've closed everything out, and I don't know what it is. So please do not do it again. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's area code 270. Stop. Okay? Use 747-228-2051 and quit calling on that line. I can't shut it down. I've got everything shut off, and I'm not going to take the time during this show to go and do that. Okay? So whoever it is, please stop. Okay, sorry about that, Deep, but that's what's coming in, and I have no idea what it is. It's just like...
Maybe it's a fan. I don't know.
Could be. Okay, this is all very interesting, and the part about it that is, and we talked about this last time, is how the transportation occurs. Because we're talking about vast distances of space. And you're saying that they're ready to go, but these vast distances are there. And if there are hybrids out there, they're not coming from one specific star system. They're not coming from a solar system.
They're chilling around the Earth. Their parents came, but they're here.
And what parts of, are they coming from outside of the Milky Way? Or is this all inside of the Milky Way?
Some are from outside of the Milky Way, but most are from within.
Most are from within. And, and when you, I would say that most of us, including myself up until maybe 10 years ago, we thought that the Milky Way was pretty small. It is huge. It
Oh,
is,
yeah.
it is absolutely huge. Where it's in some instances we're talking about 50, 100,000, a million light years away. That is when we're looking at different stars around the Milky Way, about the distances that are involved there. It is tremendously huge. Before we start talking about another galaxy,
Seeing this stuff from remote view really puts everything in perspective. It's hard to describe, but it's a pretty life-changing experience.
now before I let you go, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions really quick. I don't know much about you. I've been told a couple of things, and I've talked to you a couple of times in the past. But your name is Down to Earth E.T., Deet, right? D-E-E-T. So what that suggests is that you are an extraterrestrial, that you are a hybrid. Explain that to the audience.
Well, when I decided that I was going to come out and start telling people who I was and what was going on, I was like, I really want to summarize it well, but I didn't really know how to do that, because it's part that I have these memories as a starseed, and it's part that I'm this hybrid now. So I decided upon the name Down to Earth ET, because that sort of put it into a neat little package, because I want to be this person that, helps narrow the divide and bridge that gap, because there's so many people who want contact, who want to understand, and they don't have anyone to answer those questions. So I want to be there to answer those questions and be the difference, I guess, that brings that disclosure out for what it is.
But you yourself, are you human? Are you from off planet? Are you reincarnated? Are you interdimensional? You specifically, who is Deet?
Okay, so Deet specifically is a human gray hybrid that lives on Earth, that was born on Earth, raised on Earth, has lived on Earth. Has left the solar system a few times, but hasn't lived anywhere else but Earth. And, that's my story.
So your parents, you just said that you were a gray human hybrid.
Yep.
Do you look like a gray? What do you look like?
I posted a video on my Twitter where I was talking about it. I made a little YouTube channel. But I pretty much look human. That's what everyone is telling me. I think I have big eyes for a human, but that's what people are saying.
And have you had your DNA checked and tested?
I haven't personally. I've had blood tests several times, but no one has come to me and said, your blood is completely strange and we don't think you're human.
Would you be open to doing some DNA testing?
I would. Yeah, I totally would.
I think we should do that and find out. I mean, certainly you must be curious. Your parents, if you are a gray human hybrid, if you don't mind me asking you direct questions, if you're a gray human hybrid, how far back does that go? I mean, your parents, your mom and dad, were they both human? Is this part of your bloodline, or are you suggesting that your mom was a gray and your dad was a human, or vice versa?
In my particular case, both of my parents would be on the more human side, because at least with how grays make hybrids, they just create a hybrid with their genetics and then they just give it to a human couple.
Mm-hmm. Have you discussed this with your parents?
I've tried to bring it up, but they don't really like talking about what happens at night because it's a strong subject for them.
Well, I can only imagine. I mean, how do you do that? Over Thanksgiving dinner?
I know, right? Yeah, I've tried, but still working on that one.
Are they open-minded, or?
They're more on the open-minded side. Like, I really do enjoy talking to them about the UFO subject. They just won't let me go there.
Maybe you were adopted.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I considered that when I was younger. I was like, but damn, I look a lot like my parents.
Deep, before I let you go, Thank you for the phone call. You're going to be doing a show with Eric the Awakening Man this Saturday, right?
It's called Altered. Make sure you call in.
Make sure that I call in. I think Saturday we have a bunch of a dinner guest over at the house, but
maybe next Saturday then.
Maybe we can arrange something. What time is it?
Well, I think we're going to be starting at 9:30 this week, but I think we'll be starting around 7 the week after that.
Okay, so it'll be 9:30 Pacific time, and where is it?
It's here on Spreaker.
It's here on Spreaker. What's it called?
Altered.
It's called Altered. Okay, well, there you go. Let's get it out there. And I'm sure that quite a few of the Fadernauts are going to be hanging out with you on Saturday night. Yeah, it's going to be great. Thank you so much, Deet, and enjoy your weekend and have fun on Saturday.
See you later, Jimmy.
Thank you, Deet. Well, that's there's a lot of intelligence there that I'm still trying to. I almost feel, and everybody knows me well enough by now, I'm almost a little intimidated. There's a lot of intelligence there. Let's keep this going. Let's go here next. Hi, you're live.
I'm next.
Yes, you are. Who's this?
Yay! This is Ashley from Santa Monica.
Hi, Astrid from Santa Monica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Did you listen to Deet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, pretty amazing, huh?
Pretty intense, yes.
Absolutely. How do you talk to your dad and your mom and dad? You guys, I feel like...
There's absolutely no way to do that.
No, there's not. And, I feel like we need to sit down and have a talk. So there you go.
You totally should. I think you definitely should.
I mean...
And the way you were talking about getting together this weekend for whatever she's doing, it seems like only fitting, since you can't make it then, that you organize something else. I think that's totally essential.
Well, we could probably, set up a speaker. That'll be all easy, and we could set it up at the dinner table. We're going to do this on our patio. And and then maybe at some point, just for everybody there, we have guests, but maybe call in. I'll think about that. Astrid, what's on your?
Test the waters, see how they feel about some sort of thing like that.
Well, the other part of it is I want Eric to do his thing, instead of me coming in, because I'm telling you, every time I do that, and I've done it many, many times, I'll end up taking over the whole show and not talking. Nobody else gets to say anything, and I just yap. And I can't control myself, Astrid. I can't. I just can't. I can't do it.
I could imagine.
So what's on your mind tonight? What's on your mind?
I was wondering, I went to the premiere at Ace Theater of Bob Lazar, or Jeremy Corbell's show about Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers.
Right. You mean when it was in downtown L.A.?
Exactly.
I was there.
I know. I found out later, and I'm very hurt that you didn't make that clear or go on stage or anything.
No, I would never do that. That was the Jeremy and Lazar show. I did. I went down. I went down and said hello to Jeremy and George Knapp before the premiere, and and kind of said what's up. But
I was right down there. I was right down there. I went and said hi too.
Yeah. So I was there. It's their premiere. It has nothing to do with me, but there you go. Okay, so your question is about that. What's up?
So my question is, what do you think Bob Lazar is doing with the area with Element 115?
I hope that. Okay, this that's such a tough question, Astrid. I would think. And this is where I'm coming from. I would think that if Bob has Element 115, that we would know it. He would have come forward with it and exposed it. I'm not so sure that he has element 115.
I think that's totally wrong. I think he does, and he would not want to show that.
Why not?
You know, like, because they're already raiding his house and stuff. Like, even since the movie debuted or whatever, he's been raided again because he was talking on the phone, I hear, to Jeremy Corbell, and then he's raided. He's, like, so worried about his life and his wife and all of that, you know?
Well, at this point, the cat is...
I don't think he would come out with it. But maybe he will someday.
Yeah, but Astrid, the cat is out of the bag. That part of it is, that part is already out of the bag. So, I think you...
And do argue that. People can and do argue that it's all a fake, you know?
No, I'm not saying it's fake. I know what you're saying. You're saying the cat's out of the bag, and I'm saying the cat is not out of the bag. Well, okay, Astrid, let me ask you this. If you were sitting on element 115, do you come forward?
I would like to think yes, but probably not.
Why? What's the good of what service to humanity are you doing?
I'll leave it to somebody in my will or something. Or I'll pass it along finally when I'm on death's bed or something.
Okay, and so there you go. So, Bob,
out of the world, but I would be out of the world.
Now, Bob, if you're listening, send it to me. Nobody has to know, and I'll expose it, and I'll keep you and your family safe. But that's what I would do. I would have the press conference. I would do it live. I would do Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, the media. I'd go live on Fade to Black. I would absolutely do it. And I think it's a bunch of BS that nobody has done it. That's my take. Why? For humanity's sake, for history, to make sure that this is done, you come forward with it. And I'm being serious. I am so serious. I've talked about this so much, Astrid. It is you would be the most important person in the history of the world.
Like he clearly wouldn't want that sort of attention. Like you saw him, obviously.
It's not about that.
Like, modest,
no, it's not
about the attention or going down in history books.
Astrid, but that's not the point. I'm not talking about ego. I am saying that the rest of the world would say, thank God that they brought this forward because now we know the truth. That's what I'm talking about. And cement it.
But the element or whatever.
And when we talk about humble and this and that, he just made a documentary, right?
It's been 30 years or something?
Right. So it's
finally coming forward. You can't say that that's ego-driven.
Right. Well, that's not my point. You can't have it both ways, though. You can't say. I don't want I don't want this and that, but you make a documentary that is released. You go on Larry King, you go on TV shows, you ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, whatever. Well, hey, obviously the movie is out there with some heavy publicity behind it, and they want that, and that is a great thing. So that's fine. But you can't have it both ways. I'm not talking about you, Astrid. I'm talking about Lazar. So that's it. If you're sitting on 115, you've implied that you are, well, then bring it. Bring it. Bring it out. Bring it out. Let's change the world together. Astrid, I got to head to a commercial right here. Thank you for the phone call.
It's great talking to you.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. Thank you so much.
Good. Have a good night.
You too. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. If you're on hold, stay right there. I will get to everybody after this short break. Stay with me.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Everything is cranking tonight. The chat rooms, Twitter, YouTube, email. Okay, all right. And it's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. I can't even believe we're almost done with the show. Wow, where did the time go? Let's keep it happening. 747-228-2051 is the number. Let's go straight back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Chloe.
Hey, Chloe, how are you?
I'm all right. I made it through. I'm going to tell you something that I've been trying to tell you, and every time it happens, the phone system goes down or I get disconnected. But now I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Which is really weird because the first time it happened, it was just frustrating. The second time it happened, it was frustrating and odd. The third time it happened, it was like, is this a coincidence? The fourth time it happened, it's like, maybe it's not. But now I'm through, so I don't know what to tell you about that. When I was probably 18 or 19 years old, I had a dream. And at the end of the dream, I walked out of a building and I looked up in the sky. And there was a disc, and it looked like kind of like a face. And I called it the Sun Child. And I ran to my car and got in, and there was someone else in the car with me. And I said, we've got to go. The Sun Child is after me. And I've never forgotten that dream. I remember it vividly from the very beginning. And in November, I think it was on the 17th of 2017, Linda Moulton Howe posted pictures, drawings of people that have seen the bottom of certain crafts. And it looked exactly like things that I had drawn in the past, that what I called the Sun Child in the sky, of UFOs that people had seen. So then I'm like, okay, why was I afraid of it? And then they were talking about someone, and I don't know who, and I wish I did, was talking about what kind of beings were on this craft. Well, the strange thing, okay, when I have gotten woken up around 3 in the morning, first of all, before that happens, I learned that there was a process that happened. Like, I would start getting really tired about 15 minutes before, 10 minutes before, like I had been drugged. And numerous times I'd gone and laid down, and then I'd wake up and see these beings, you know, like the sleep paralysis thing, and see these beings. But I didn't really understand the correlation. I started paying more attention to it just a few years ago, that when I would get really tired and go lay down, that's when I would wake up and see this being right next to my face. It was like really white, big brown, dark eyes. But next to it, standing there, and I never saw above the waist, was someone wearing camouflage pants. They were like black camouflage pants. And I'm like, does anyone wear black camo pants? So I researched that, and I guess some branches of the military have these black camo pants. So I'm like, is this not related to ET at all? Is this something else entirely that's waking me up at 3 in the morning? Because that's the only thing I'm afraid of. I've never been afraid of, I wasn't afraid of the mantid being, wasn't afraid of the spheres, I wasn't afraid when I saw a UFO, I wasn't afraid any time I've ever encountered these other beings. But I've always been terrified when I've been woken up at 3 in the morning and seen this being standing right next to me, which I don't even know if it's a real being. It's just really odd. Thoughts?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, odd is you're right. Odd is certainly one of the words that you can use, but it's consistent though. It's not like it's happened just one time.
No, it's happened numerous times. I don't know how many times it's happened.
I want you to describe what you drew, though, and what you saw, with the illustrations that Linda Moulton Howe presented. What was it that was similar? What did you see?
If you draw a circle, and then you put eyes where the eyes would be, and you draw kind of like an X through it, that's the best way I can explain it. I can go and try to find the drawings that other people have sent to her, and I can send them to you.
Yeah, I would like to see them.
On Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, I would like to see them.
But it seems like that would happen after nights when there would be a presence in the house. And it's almost like, let's go see what she found out. I know that sounds crazy, right? But
not really.
But it's almost like there's one group that is legit, that is from somewhere else, and then there's this group that shows up afterwards, like almost like a debriefing, and that's the group I'm afraid of. And I don't know if they're really extraterrestrial. I mean, you know, I've told you that I've been involved with this my entire life. I was born in Ohio, in a little town not too far from Dayton, and every time we would go to Dayton, I would feel so weird. You know, even as a child, I would just feel so strange being there. And I didn't know about the, what's the name of the Air Force base there? Or
Wright-Patterson.
Wright-Patterson, right. And so now I'm like, I don't know if there's a connection to Wright-Patterson. And the whole thing about Ike's citizens are in place, if you remember that coming through in a crop circle. It's like, who are Ike's citizens? Where are they in place? And what are they supposed to do? You know, I have so many questions. And I know somebody has answers, but they're not giving them to us. But
Right.
But pretty soon we might have all the answers. Pretty soon.
Well, I'm hoping for that, you know, and the more that not only you, but others that just come forward and share their experiences, the more that others will feel comfortable in doing the same thing. And the more that happens,
so.
You know what?
It's scary.
Well, I look at it this way, Chloe. It's that when the big reveal happens, right? When it happens, you know how many are going to go, you know what? They talked about this on Fade to Black forever. You know, I just want everybody that is part of this family to go, there. Okay. See, this is what I've been on about. This is what I've been talking about. Yeah.
Right.
You know, and
exactly.
And that day is soon, Chloe. That day is soon.
Well, I'm not so certain our governments are going to do it. I don't think they're going to have a choice in the matter eventually. It's just going to happen.
Right.
And while I have you on the phone, I would really like to thank Sarah Ann for reaching out to me, because that really meant a lot, and I plan to get back to her and communicate with her more as soon as I can. But there's always something happening in my family, so we got to wait till the dust settles.
Thank you, Chloe, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You too, Chloe. Thank you so much. And and she brings up one of the best points. I mean, you know, it's maybe it's not the right word, vindication, but it is the right word, because there are so many out there that have been talking about it, where they get shot down by friends and family and things. But wouldn't it just be great? And if we go back to the original, day of disclosure, December 17th, 2017. I can't even believe it's been that long now. That how many people felt vindicated on that day? How many people just went, see, all right, I've been talking about this, and I've been talking about this, and here we go. And it fizzled. It completely fizzled. The excitement that everybody had, and it completely fizzled. Think about that. This is Fade to Black. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Who's this?
This is Matt from Winnipeg.
Hey, Matt from Winnipeg. How are you?
Not bad. This is up in Canada. I called before from the University of Manitoba, So.
Well, you know what? Last night I watched a documentary on Randy Bachman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all about Winnipeg, man. The whole thing was all about Winnipeg. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's a cold city, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. What's on your mind, Matt?
So, all right, my question is, I'm not going to be able to ask questions on when Billy Carson comes on next, so I thought I'd slam it in here when I can. Now, when you had talked about time travel, I guess with Billy Carson there before, when you couldn't get through because your phones were dead, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of curious. if you could forward the message to him about multidimensional time. Have you ever heard of something like that? Dr. Larson talked about three-dimensional time, which is something that kind of takes Einstein's one-dimensional time and blows it out of the water.
Okay.
So if you took, like, we're in three-dimensional space right now. We have, if you took an X, Y, Z axis, you would have time that goes all the way around that, and that would be that fabric, and that would be Einstein's model. But if you took Dr. Larson's model of three-dimensional time, of X, Y, and Z all the way around that axis, all of a sudden you have a 6-point multi-dimensional lattice of time and space that all interacts with each other. And I was kind of curious if there was any relationship to a time geometry of some kind in with those emerald tablets.
Well, you can contact Billy yourself. You can go directly to him. He's accessible.
I'm not able to get through him because I don't use social media. I've always been off that stuff.
All right, so it's Dr. Larson 3D time.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll ask him to look into it. How's that?
Sure thing.
Okay.
And there's one other thing I was actually thinking about here, talking about hybrids and stuff. I thought this would be rather interesting, considering that that kind of question was brought up. Since my background is involving in electromagnetic physics and electromagnetic research, I was actually contemplating whether another human being really needs to come from outer space in order to be a hybrid. Now, it kind of got me thinking years ago when there was a show that was called, Threshold. Now, it was only on for one season on the Sci-Fi Network,
Okay.
And now it involved this alien probe that kind of came from wherever, and it actually used sound to mutate DNA.
Possible.
And then it would,
okay.
Yeah, and then what it would do is it would create this disease in human beings that made them smarter, stronger, more aggressive, and like hostile, and they were driven to infect other human beings in order to change the planet Earth into something like them. Now, I know it was a major dramatization, but it really got me thinking about this stuff a little more closer. What do we know about charge? Well, charge is an attribute, not just an electron that moves. We have D-wave that can traverse different dimensional states. And it kind of occurred to me that, with somebody, there's another doctor named Dr. Kongev, Russian scientist. I can't even pronounce his name properly. Talked about the mutation of DNA via electromagnetic effects. And there's another doctor, too, I can't remember to talk about this. If you took 2 beakers of sterilized water, you introduced a Schlumann's resonance frequency in between the two beakers that are completely isolated. You took a sample of Jimmy's blood and then you dropped it into one container. And you shined a laser with different types of light into all spectrums of the rainbow through one and into another. You will find that your DNA is equally in both of these containers, because there is an actual effect on light carrying these DNA attributes from one container to another.
Interesting.
So it kind of occurred to me that somebody hypothetically could be changed into a hybrid without ever really knowing about it.
Right.
If you start looking at mutating DNA with electromagnetic effects, all you need to do is have an advanced consciousness, and then hypothetically the individual you ever known all your entire life may not entirely be all what they look and feel like. They could be something very different. And then you may never be able to detect it unless you were doing some very, 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 very deep chromosome fusion analysis.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I'll tell you something really funky, and then you can go and research this on your own, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ancestry, right? Ancestry.com, where you send in your samples and get your DNA tested, right?
Yep.
That's the biggest DNA database on the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guess who owns it?
No idea.
The Mormon Church. brought here by E.T. Now, think about that. Think about the implications of what I just said. Just think about that. And, Matt, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for the phone call.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what? And I don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't care if I get a phone call from the Mormon Church. It doesn't matter to me. Ancestry.com. Owned by the Mormon Church. How trippy is that? And that's the largest database. Do you know how many? This is the thing. People sending in their DNA, to the Mormon Church or, at Ancestry.com. And, it gets cataloged. And the next thing they go back to some crime, cold case from 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And they go and they test, they have some DNA sample. They didn't know it was DNA, right? But they have something, a toothbrush, right? A piece of hair, whatever. They run it through. And some doofus, was doing, and they've got those agreements right there, man. And that stuff pops up. And the next thing you know, somebody's knocking at your door with a warrant. But the largest DNA database, that's right, owned by the Mormon Church. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Rebecca Whaley.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hey there, I love your show. I just want to say I love your show, I love your craft. There are so many people that just are so excited to hear you.
Is that right? Like who?
Well, gosh, all your callers and probably how many other thousands, millions. It's hard to say.
I
love it.
I thought you were going to say like the CIA.
Oh, well, you know what? The way the phones have been going, come on, someone's trying to sabotage here.
Yeah, I know. It's just the way that it is, Rebecca.
It means we're doing something right?
That's it. There's no other way to look at it. There isn't. That's the only.
No, there isn't. You can't fool yourself these days.
So, where are you calling from?
Yes, sir. I'm from West Virginia.
You're from West Virginia. What's on your mind tonight, Rebecca?
Well, gosh, quite a lot. All of these calls are just so shockingly relative. I kind of want to go back to Mandela effect for just a brief minute. I'm not going to talk too long about it, but it's almost like a real-time phenomenon for me. This was, I've had a lot of occurrences with this, mostly in my younger youth, but now I'm an adult, and I notice things now, and it's just like, that does not add up. So, let me get to the story. This was the week that Mr. Jesse Smollett, so I said Jesse, here we go. Jesse Smollett was, all of the charges were dropped. So it was that week, 2 weeks ago possibly. My daughter, Thora, she was home from school sick 2 days in a row. So it was a Thursday. We're watching Inside Edition. It's her favorite show, Please Don't Ask. So we're watching the show, and it comes on about Jesse Smollett. All charges against Jesse Smollett were dropped. So
really?
So we're sitting there like, we're sitting there like, oh goodness, what in the world happened? How is this happening? So I'm Googling like, well, let's look at this trail. Let's see what Google says. So I'm seeing Jessie. Okay.
Right.
So no big deal. Nothing was weird to me then. Just the fact that it was being tucked away. So the next day, my daughter, Thora, she's also sick again. Well, she wants to watch the show again, so we're watching. It ended up being a rerun. So when the story came on, we saw it in the text on the TV, and we heard Jesse Smollett, Jussie. We both just looked at each other. Did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. You heard that yesterday, right?
Right.
Not only did I hear it, but I read it.
You read it?
I read it on the television. I also read it on my phone.
But the replay was different.
It was a rerun,
right.
But we watched the entire episode after just to feel peace of mind. Nothing was different, excluding Jesse.
Did you?
So
I mean, yeah, I know. And what do you? At that point, do you start to question your own sanity? You know what I mean?
Absolutely not, sir. No, sir, because this was the one circumstance. My daughter, she's 11. She's no dummy, but she's 11, you know, but she's sitting there and we're just like, it wasn't just me, you know, she was just like, hey, like scratching her head, like, Mom, what's up?
How
am
old
am I delusionally sick? What's up?
How old is she?
She's 11.
See, and does that mess with her head?
Yeah, well, now at this point, and you know, the rumor with Mandela effect is that once you have an occurrence, you kind of talk yourself out of it. You kind of try to rationalize the dimension you're in now.
Right.
I do have experience with that as a child, but like I said, like this really affirmed it for me. I don't need to doubt, and I try to spread that peace to people because I do encounter people that have the same experience, like my daughter and some friends. I just try to, you know, look, it's not you. There's whether it be CERN or what other timeline is being manipulated.
Right.
That reaffirmed it for me. I don't ever need to hear someone say you're not crazy.
Right.
So, and now my daughter, back to the story, she's at the point where she's like, you know, we must have just been, you know, it's her first real noticeable situation with that. So I think it's fizzling for her. But at this point in my life, I'm 33. I don't have anything to doubt anymore. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It was real time. I mean, it was the most recent occurrence I've had in the last 10 years, probably.
Yeah, for me, and thank you for the call, Rebecca. I've got to head towards a break here in about 60 seconds, but I wanted to say this, that the other day when I was bringing up a cup of noodles, right, and I did the post in Twitter, and the next day I was like, you know what, and I was literally eating cup of noodles here in the bunker. And I'm looking at the cup noodles, right? And so I Googled it, and I went to the Wikipedia page, and buried on the Wikipedia page is this little line, and I posted it in Twitter back in 1993, Cup noodles was introduced in the United States as cup of noodles, briefly, right? And I sat there and I went, wait a minute. I remember like 3 years ago investigating cup of noodles with everybody else, right, that was doing it. It was never there. I would have I would have mentioned it. I would have posted it. I would have talked about it the other day. I would have done it. And when I read that line, I was like, wait a minute. This wasn't here 3 years ago. And
your gears just freeze, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yep. So I went ahead and posted it up for everybody, but it was just interesting that I caught that little snippet. And nobody else caught that little snippet over the years. No, I've never seen anybody post it or anything else. So there you go, Rebecca. Give my best. Give my best to your daughter, and
yes, sir.
And let's a big shout out to Jesse Smollett. Thank you so much,
old Jesse. Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Peace out. That's a great phone call right there. I don't know what to make of any of it. I don't. This whole thing, when it comes to the Mandela effect, millions of people cannot be crazy. I cannot be afflicted by the same memory issues with their brain. Maybe it's GMOs. I don't know. This is Fade to Black, 747-228-2051. And it's open lines all night long. Stay right there. I'll be right back.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi folks, CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader Night, one segment left. Everybody on hold. I'm going to try to get everybody in. Let's just get straight to it. The phones have been nuts tonight. A lot of fun, though. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Steve from Galveston.
Hi, Steve from Galveston. How are you, man?
Pretty good. I'm a different nut that fell from a tree. I learned about, ETs and everything, and over the years I've just been, but there's something strange about me. I have, I don't know, you're talking about the hybrid stuff, and like my legs, the bottom of my legs, my shins have what you call alligator skin, kind of reptilish. And then, like learning about the Anunnaki, the 6 fingers, 6 toes, my pinky toe has an extra. It's like split in half, like there was a remnant of 6 toes. So I'm just, it just keeps coming back in my mind that maybe there's something going on here.
DNA testing, man. DNA testing. I'm telling you.
No,
what's your blood?
Me out.
Yeah, what's your blood type?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would get all of that stuff checked. I would.
Yeah,
I would.
I mean,
simple enough to do.
Yeah, and what's weird is like I said, I'm a different nut. I have all these. I'm very gifted, and I'm 50 now, and I look 20 years younger. It's really weird. People are like, "You're 50? You ain't 50."
Right.
Just weird shit.
No, watch the language. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Go get, go and do it. And when you get the reports back, your blood type's going to be really interesting too as well. But when you get the DNA report back and you're reading it and it says, okay, right, the rest of it is you're 80% off planet, right? Give us a call back and let us know, Steve. But that's very interesting. The whole alligator skin thing, a couple of extra toes, some digits. Yeah, you look younger.
Yeah.
Get your DNA checked. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely will. I also have something happened to me when I was a child, like in diapers. I remember walking through, and I recollect this, a lot, and it's just so vivid that I'm walking through the living room. I'm in diapers. And all of a sudden, this equation flashes in my mind, and in a split second, it prompts me to solve this equation. And in a split second, it's solved. And I'm just like, what was that? And every time I recollect that, it's just like so vivid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is that?
Yeah, Steve, I'm going to be straight with you. What the conversation you're having right now, do you know how many people are listening going, yep, okay, I can relate to Steve? So you're not alone, man, but go and get your DNA checked in your blood type. If you come back RH negative with some crazy chromosome count and you find out that all of your relatives are from ancient Sumer, Mesopotamia, the Middle East, I want to know. Get back to us, Steve.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. That's a great phone call right there, Steve from Galveston. Look, I'm responding the same way that all of you are right now. Yeah, okay, all right. We get it, Steve. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hello. My name is Carl DeLinden. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's going good, Carl. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from a bit due west of Minnock.
South Dakota?
Minnock, near Minnock Mines, Mount Kendall.
Yep.
How you been, Jimmy?
I'm doing good, Carl. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I've been watching for quite some time, my lord, and there is a question that comes to the forefront of my mind from time to time. Just curious, are you tough?
No.
You're not tough?
No. Are you?
Well, I guess it depends on the time of day and the situation and the opponent. I've just been watching and wondering. You seem like a tough guy.
No, I'm not. So what's on your mind, though? Why would you ask that?
Well, I've just been wondering if you've had any experience in maybe some boxing or something like that.
No, Carl, sorry, man.
All right, then. I have another question about what is your opinion on moon gates, the traveling...
Did you say moon dates?
Moon gates.
Oh, moon gates. I don't know. What are they?
Moon gates are, it's sort of it's a portal, obviously. It's a vortex that's created when one says Vasrel pour using the proper reagents. And it's something that allows interdimensional travel. I'm not sure how many folks outside of Sosari are familiar with this kind of usage of the vortex. So you haven't heard anything about what about the interdimensional travel using things that are smoked, like DMT?
Well, we've had many guests on the show that talk about that. Carl, hold on for a second. I want to back up. Did you see the video that was posted today online of this? I don't even know how to describe it. It almost looks like a Stargate giant that orbited the moon and went behind it. Did you see it? It was shot in Indianapolis.
A giant that went behind the moon.
A giant Stargate that went behind the moon. It's an incredible video. It's an incredible. You need to jump online. Just look up Indianapolis satellite moon, and you'll see the video. It's incredible, and I'm sure that somebody has posted it right now on Twitter, and you can go and check it out. Somebody posted the video that was shot in Indianapolis. It got posted today of the, I don't even know what to call it, the Stargate satellite that went behind the moon. It's crazy. It's an incredible video, Carl. You need to go check that out. And
right, I thought you were going to reference the black hole image that was recently.
No. This is today. This is the moon. The moon in the day, up in the blue sky, and at the 11 o'clock position. It is huge. This is not small. It is a round. It looks like the space station from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Round with something going on in the middle of it, and it just goes right behind the moon. It's nuts. It's a crazy video, Carl. You need to check that out. That may be what you're talking about. I think that if there's a Stargate on the moon, it's right there, and we saw it today. It's incredible. It's a great video. I don't even know what it is. Yeah, here it is. Just posted up on Twitter. Thank you. I'm going to retweet this. Everybody go and check this out. You tell me what you think this is. I have no idea. And of all places, shot today or yesterday in Indianapolis. And I'm looking at the video here. I don't know. That's a crazy video. That's a crazy video. Go check it out, Carl.
So this is on your Twitter?
Right now. Right now. It's on the feed. Hashtag F2B, and it's on my Twitter.
Okay, let me see. 14 seconds ago. Here we go.
Yep. That's pretty amazing. And
let me take a look.
Yep.
This is very fast. Indeed.
Yep, it is. It is. And this video here is flipped. The actual video, you remember I said 11 o'clock? The real video that is was the direct post from the person on YouTube. That is over in the 11 o'clock position. Here it's at 1 o'clock. This is flipped. This video is flipped. But there it is. It's crazy. Hey, Carl, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too, my lord. You're a good man, Jimmy, and I thank you. This is very fascinating. I will do my research into this, and you've brought to light more about moongates than I ever thought possible, my lord. Have a good evening, Jimmy.
You too, Carl. Thank you so much. And I love it when somebody learns something on Fade to Black, because I just did too as well. Carl, you're pretty fascinating. Thank you for the phone call. Man, I'm looking at the clock, and I'm bouncing stuff around. I promised everybody I would get all the calls in, okay? So I am going to do just that right now. Let's go here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yes, this is Terry.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm fine. I the one that rang you last week. Was a little distraught at the moment.
Okay.
But I called about my father.
Oh, hi, Terry. How are you? Australia, right?
I'm fine. He is from Australia. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to play guessing games. It was so strange when I was trying to get a hold of you, because I had been on hold for a long time, but I was listening to you, and then suddenly I'm on Linda Moulton House live listening to her. I don't know how that happened between a calling card. Then it cut me off you, and it hung up. And then I tried to call, and it hung up again.
Well, there you go. Welcome to my world, Terry. Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Well, what I wanted Now I know that I do realize there are young ears, so I realize I'm going to be very careful what I say. I did want to say something about Richard Dolan, beautiful Richard Dolan. He's so nice. I spoke to him a while ago to let him know about my Uncle Tim, who was in the he was stationed in China Lake Ridgecrest U.S. Navy Base in California. Obviously, you know where that is. Okay. And it was in the 1960s, I think it was 1960 or 61. And my aunt's still alive, and anyone who's willing to talk to her, she'll explain. But on his deathbed, I mean, before he died, he talked about a UFO crash that he and a few of his mates and the military had witnessed. And, you know, obviously there were military trucks that showed up within minutes, and he did get a glimpse of probably one of the graves because the way he described it to my stepfather, which I do not want to get confused with my real dad. My stepfather basically raised us, and we went to my real dad's on the weekends when all the stuff happened. So it's my stepfather's brother that actually witnessed this, and he's really a nice man. And he's a huge man. He has no reason to lie. And anyway, so I went to talk to Richard Dolan about it, and then I started talking about, I got nervous, and suddenly I brought up my dad. And he wasn't sure what to do with me. He was so sweet. He was so kind. And strange things started happening. I started getting nightmares, vivid nightmares every night, like Freddy Krueger nightmares. And I thought, I know it's not him because he was a beautiful person. I think it's because I'm real spiritual that, you know, they always try to knock down the ones the more spiritual you are. At least I feel that way. But the nightmares came on, and I had a cross that I wore. And but I don't wear a cross anymore, but I had a cross that I wore, and it was solid silver, like a box-shaped cross. And I woke up one morning after talking to Richard, and we had Skyped it. I had Skyped him, and the bottom of the cross was off, so it looked like an upside-down T. However, there were no marks, and I took a photo of it, which I have. There was nothing that had to, you could see where it was soldered. You know, nothing bent, nothing how it broke. It just was in perfect shape, and we could not find the bottom piece of it anywhere in the bed or anywhere. And so, anyway, strangely after that, I started seeing UFOs. And I saw an orange it's like three diamond shape. They looked like plates that were shifting. And then it turned into a circle, and there's a building called the Soul Building, and my husband and I have, it's just an investment unit to keep us in a place secure for my husband. So it's a hotel. It's Mantra Hotel, there's many of them. So it's just one, and it faces the ocean. And because we were on a high floor, it was almost, I dated every single time. It started out the solstice, I think it was the winter solstice at the time. And it was in October or November. I wrote the dates of when I saw each UFO and put the time and stuff. And I did get one video of one of the orbs, but then we saw the strangest. There's the Chevron building, which is a real tall high-rise, and it's a really nice hotel. But the only thing that it faces is the ocean. Now, there is absolutely nothing. If we saw blue orbs, like scaling, my husband witnessed this too, and so did somebody.
But Terry, we're going to run out of time here on the show, and I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, I know. You know, we went from China Lake to the Cross to Dolan, now to the Chevron building. I want you to resolve the phone call. you know what I mean? What is it that we're getting to here?
Oh, I just wanted to talk about that I'd seen all these UFOs, and I was
Oh, I got you.
About my uncle in China Lake, and
the next time that you call in, I want to hear about you, because you went right past the China Lake thing. And so I want to know what happened out there. And I thought you were going to tie China Lake to the Chevron building. That's what I was like, this is getting good.
It's just that as soon as I told Richard Dolan, it's just like strange things happen. It's like, oh, well, now how do I tell him I've seen all these UFOs?
Right.
I look like a loony. And so all I wanted to, my main call was just to say that Richard Dolan was so sweet. I just thought I better spare him because my nightmares kept coming in and weird things kept happening. And so I didn't want anyone to say, oh, yeah, I heard Terry mention you and blah, blah, blah. I want to say beautiful things about him and
yeah, he's a
make
cool
sure
dude.
that I cleared the air.
No, he's a cool
That's
dude.
all.
Richard's the man. I found some pictures.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, I found some pictures the other day that I took of Richard dancing, and he made me swear. He made me swear that I would never post them. And I was looking at them like, man, these need to be seen. Somebody needs to see these pictures. Terry, enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for the phone call.
Okay, and I'm sorry I rambled.
No, it's okay. No. That's what this show is for. It's called Conversation, Terry. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, had a great show.
Yeah,
thank you.
And have a great weekend. Thank you, Terry. All the way from Australia, and I promised that I would get everybody in. See, that's what I'm going to do here. So let's just keep it going. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, it's Tanette, Jimmy.
Hi, Tanette. How are you?
I'm great. So I missed the first part of the show because my hours at work changed, but did you talk about the Julian Assange arrest?
I did at the beginning of the show.
Right. So what I think is going on there is that he was arrested, but there was no handcuffs, and he was allowed to bring a book with him when he was put on the bus or whatever it was. And then when he was looking out the window of the bus, he was given a thumbs up. Like, that's a good thing.
No,
so I think that
it's never a good thing when you're arrested by the British secret police inside of an embassy.
No.
There ain't nothing good coming out of that.
Right, but I think what's happening there is that I think maybe the good guys pulled him in, and they may give him a lighter sentence. He's facing like 5 years right now for some dumb thing that was cool. Well, he can get off a lighter sentence. If it's only 5 years, he can get off in 2.5, 3 for good behavior or what have you.
Yeah,
But I think.
Well, okay, I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
I think the good guys actually pulled him in, and now since he's up on charges, guess what he has to do? He has to testify. So when he testifies, what's he going to say? He's going to say that Kim.com gave him the thumb drive with the information on it, and it was not a DNC leak. It was Kim.com and through Seth Rich. Seth Rich gave the thumb drive to Kim.com, and Kim.com forwarded it to Assange.
Could be. I mean, could be if you're going to put something together like that as an escape route. That could hold water if Kim.com testifies to that in court.
Right, and Kim.com already offered to testify a couple of years ago, and the courts wouldn't take him up on it. They no, we don't need you to do that. So
right.
I think that it's going to all happen, which is huge. And it leads back to the murder of Seth Rich.
Yeah. It's a pretty complicated situation, and the point that anybody that is in the position like Julian Assange is, which is, if you are going to go after, states, countries, leaders, politicians, business people, big money people, corporations, banks, and you're going to reveal all of this stuff, and you're just going to splash this stuff out there. Even if you are 100% in the right in doing so, right? Okay, all right. It's like Robin Hood. If you're gonna go and play that role, well, then you've got to be prepared for the big fight, because nobody is going to take that laying down. And that's really the bottom line here. So whatever Julian's got planned, him and his lawyers, they've been preparing for this day for a long time. That they know what they're doing, and that's the bottom line with Julian. And the other thing is, I think that ultimately that he wore out his welcome at the embassy there. And if that part of it seems strange, they gave him up, pretty easily. So what was going on inside of the embassy because if it would have been, you know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't there. But I don't think that Ecuador, I could be wrong, could be bought, right? I don't think so, but maybe they could be. I mean, maybe that, some money, some support, this, that, or whatever, from the United States and from Great Britain, some deal was set up and Ecuador came out ahead. They just had their elections. This is a new president and all of that. I don't know the particulars, but I had announced on this show a couple of weeks ago that, his arrest was imminent. And I was, I knew that it was coming. It was one of those things where I thought that, you know what, maybe it should be coming, but maybe ultimately it won't. That it won't, that Julian will stay there. I also thought that maybe Julian would get away, sneak out the back door and go somewhere else and in a little safer of a situation, because everybody knew where he was. He's right there. He's on the street. You saw how he was arrested. That was crazy, wasn't it? Did you see everybody with their cell phone cameras, out there, taking pictures? That was out there right in the middle of everything. The British police didn't hide what they were doing. It was
exactly. So
yeah, I know.
I think the DNC thinks so. Oh, he needs to be arrested. He needs to be arrested. Well, okay, so they arrested him.
I don't think it's a DNC thing. I don't think this is a Republican DNC No, I don't. I had the emails. No, I don't think it has anything to do with that at all. I think it has to do with big banks, money, and state actors around this planet that he screwed with. Has nothing to do with the DNC. DNC is small potatoes.
Right. And
Seth Rich.
And I don't think so either.
The whole Seth.
I think that the DNC may think that they got one up.
Yeah, maybe.
They don't, because now he has to testify.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? And Tanette, I've got 5 seconds. And then I've got to go. I think the DNC and Seth Rich in the big on the world stage of things has nothing to do with WikiLeaks and why he got arrested. That's my take. The much bigger players are involved. Tanette, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Tanette. Nothing like having Tanette as the last call of the night. Fade to black. Thank you, everybody that called in. I hope everybody had fun over in the YouTube Super Chat, which was activated tonight, and that was really cool. Everybody in the chat rooms, email was smoking tonight. Twitter was unbelievable. The phone calls are unbelievable. That's why this is my favorite night of the week. And I really mean that. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camurian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA The Planet. It's broadcast owned and copyrighted 2019 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I want to thank the Shermanator, Tim, Kama, Mercutio, Liana, 3VL, and Kevin. Thank you for that over in the super chat. You know what I'm talking about. Until Monday night, Billy Carson, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tappy.